My name is Eddie C, and welcome to my positive podcast. I'll bring you positive stories of people from all walks of life, because everyone has a story to tell. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to MPP, and I'm your host, Eddie C. This is my positive podcast. I hope you all are doing fine and have had a great few weeks. Once again, it's kind of a busy time for me. To my surprise, you would think as you get older, things would slow down, but I'm actually glad to still be doing a few projects here and there, musically, as well as some things with my photography, and of course, working on my positive podcast, meeting some new and interesting people to have on the show. Today, we're going to talk about decisions, and I find that a very interesting subject because we have to make decisions practically every day of our lives when whether we know it or not, what we're going to eat, what we're going to wear, what we're going to do. So that's quite a powerful word in our daily lifestyle. And my guest will also be talking about decisions and how her life is put together based on her decisions. And if you're curious, sit back, relax, and stay positive. My name is Eddie C, and you're listening to my positive podcast. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my guest for this episode is a lady I had the pleasure of meeting actually via Facebook. She came to one of my concerts recently, and we had a chance to just briefly speak to each other. Please welcome my next guest, Miss Dorine Hendrickx. How you doing, Dorine?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, doing fine. I know that you're a nurse, but you want to tell a little bit about your background, how you got started with that, and what you're actually doing now?
Oh, yeah. I became a nurse at the age of 33. So I did a lot of stuff before. I worked at shops and different stuff, but I always wanted to be a nurse because I care about people. And, it's, you have to do it with your heart when you want to be a caretaker of people. And I worked at hospitals, and now I'm working at mental health care as a night nurse. So, and I like my job. I love what I do.
You were originally from a little small town called Nieuwekerken here in Belgium, right?
Yes.
But you also said you went to Switzerland when you were younger. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. I always wanted to go abroad, and I had the chance when I was 18, becoming 19. And I saw at the papers a little, how do you say it? Advertising for an affair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
These were Dutch people, and they wanted somebody from here to learn the language, the little child, the language. So they were living in Switzerland. He was a Swiss guy, and she was a Dutch girl, married to him, and they had a little boy. And I was there for first a few months, and then afterwards I stayed for a year. It was really nice. I met a lot of people from around the world, all the au pairs together from different countries. So we had a great time. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Wow.
Yeah.
Switzerland is a nice place. What part of Switzerland?
Gstaad. Yeah. So famous people as well. Yeah, it was nice to be there. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Going back into your nursing, when did you exactly start? Straight out of high school or?
No, it was afterwards. I've worked several years before doing lots of stuff, but I wanted more in life, to mean something, to make a difference. And then I started school when I was 31 again, after so many years, after 10 years of work. So I started school again for 3 years, and I like going to school again. Yeah, it was nice. It was with younger people, older people, different ages, different kind of people. So it was really nice. Yeah.
So actually your nursing career started at a later point in your life, in fact.
Yeah. When I was 33, I started working as a nurse. So almost, 33. I finished, so almost 17 years now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You're in one particular field of nursing now, right?
Yeah.
You said you're working with mental health patients. Can you tell us something about that?
Yeah, I've noticed that, I guess, they've always been there, but due to Corona, it became a lot worse. And also with drugs coming into their lives. There are a lot of people who suffer from different things. And drugs is also a big part of problems. Drugs and alcohol as well. The abuse, of course. And it's often a lot more difficult than to take care of people in normal hospitals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Because mental health is something different than a broken leg or a broken arm or a surgery or something like, yeah. And you have older people, even kids,
Of course, not only the sickness of corona itself, but also with their mental state.
Yeah.
That must be pretty heavy to do that.
Yeah, it is. It is. And sometimes you just don't know what to say as well. You can be there, listen to them, talk to them. There are also people, they get a lot of chances, but they don't want to be out of that world. They continue to use drugs and drink alcohol, and there are people who want help, but there are also people who doesn't want to be helped out of the situation. They come back time after time after time after time. But we're still there and still taking care of them as well.
Can you take us through, let's say, a typical working day that you go through?
Yeah, working day. Yeah, I work at night. So.
Okay, working evening then.
I start at 9 o'clock in the evening till 7 o'clock in the morning. So I see, it's a hospital, but there are several buildings. So there are, I think, about 10 or 11 buildings. And every building has its unique form of treatment for different kinds of patients. So the building I start in at 9 o'clock, I see the patients. And these are drugs-related patients.
Okay.
So
wow. All of them or just a large amount?
At that building, all of them. Yeah, you have building patients for depression, then you have one for drugs, then you have one for psychotic things. And so you have all kinds of different things over there. Yeah.
And during the corona period, you had a lot of patients dying, I imagine.
At that time, when corona came here, I worked at 2 hospitals. I worked at mental health care, and the other one was how do you say it? For the older people.
Okay, for the seniors.
Yeah. Also night shift. Yeah, it was very difficult. The first 3 months of corona here, I think we lost from with the seniors, we've lost 22 persons.
Oh.
Yeah. Sometimes at one night, 2 or 3 persons who died. So it was, and we couldn't help them, There wasn't enough materials, and we couldn't help the people. We just could give them some things, some medications for fever or a little oxygen or something like that. But it was really hard, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I have a lot of admiration for the work that you do and your colleagues, because without you all, a lot of us would not make it through and would have not made it through the whole corona thing. So, I mean, really, a salute and a hat off to all of you all for the great work you've been doing and during that time and still continue to do now. Yeah. Even that's wonderful. Let's get on a little bit more of the brighter side. You like food.
Yeah.
Is that like a sort of a hobby of yours?
Yeah. Yeah. It's also, to me, cooking is a therapy as well. To, when I have a lot of things going on in my head, I love to cook because it clears my head, and I have to be focused on preparing the food and trying stuff. And that helps me to clear my head.
I can definitely relate to that. Cooking is also for me a form of therapy. The basic things that I do are, I like to put those little small spices in it, and everything has to be well attended to, because at the end of the day, what you're feeding your body is what you're going to be feeding outside to people, that energy. So, it's very important as well. Yeah. What are some of the things that you like to make?
Oh, I love Italian food a lot. So, but I try different things, like Morocco. I love tagine as well. Different kinds of food, different cultures. So, and I like to try things out. Sometimes it works out very good. Sometimes no, but you got to give it a try. Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely. But Italian dishes are basically your favorite things to make. Does that have to do with just the food, or do you have some Italian roots connected to your family background or anything?
Yeah, I have an Italian uncle, but I love the country. I like the Mediterranean style of life, like easy and healthy, and it's like the country, like the dishes, and it's a very simple kitchen as well. Yeah.
It's one of the Mediterranean, meals are supposed to be some of the healthiest in the world, because they use also a lot of natural olive oils and stuff like that. That's good, that's supposed to be very good,
Yeah. And I also like to prepare and share food. Often I make something and I take it for my colleagues at night. So I do all the little portions and I give them, and I like it when they enjoy my meal. So and they like it as well.
Okay, fantastic.
When I post something, they're saying, when are you working? I'm working then or then, and
They'll say, put me on the same shift for Dorine, because there's always going to be something to eat.
Yeah.
You're also a big fan of all kinds of music, and you like to go to a lot of concerts. Can you tell us something about that? Because you have, of course, a very busy schedule with your night shift. So how do you squeeze that all in?
Yeah, sometimes I have to take a paid holiday to go, but most of the times, or I do a switch with a colleague when I really want to go out and see somebody. But I make, you only live once,
That's true too.
And the older you get, the more important it is to enjoy life and not only working, because I've worked a lot throughout the years, always doing 2 or 3 jobs at the same time. And I had a few health problems the last years. Not enough sleep, stress, working a lot, and not taking care of my body. So, and now the last few years I've changed, You can always work, I know, but you have to enjoy life as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. I worked hard my whole life as well with my career. And I know that even though I try to slow things down, I have to always, once in a while, just grab the rope and say, okay, stop, because otherwise you're so used to being into a routine of working.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, you just have to tell yourself, all right, now take some time just to have a day where you, in my case, I'll take my camera and go for a nice walk, or go to see a movie or something like that, so that you can just take your mind off and then enjoy that moment.
Yeah, that's very important.
And I still enjoy my work. I still enjoy making music. I still enjoy, doing photography. And those are things I really love to do. So I'm a little bit more cautious about what I choose now. So the things that I choose are things that I really want to do.
I was always saying yes, when people were asking, can you do this? Can you do that? Oh, yes, I'm coming. I'm working. I can change. I can make it like that, or I can do this or that. But now I'm saying no. I have to take care of myself as well.
Right, absolutely.
Because it can be finished in just a second. It can be gone. It's all gone.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Well, I also know you're very spiritual minded.
Yes.
And you have a whole idea about that. You want to tell my listeners something about that? Yeah,
I've always been interested in spiritual things, and I'm pretty sure there is something after we leave this world. And my father passed away next week. It will be 6 years. We really had a great bond together,
Are you the only child, or you have brothers and sisters as well?
No, I have a 3-year younger brother.
Okay.
Yeah, as well.
Okay.
But my father and me, we were, we were just a team. Yeah, and he was always great to me, and I could talk about everything with him. And I still believe he's there. I can feel his presence. So, and his photo is here on the table, and I even talk to him. Or when I'm having problems, and I say, what would you say to me now? What would you do? Which advice would you give me?
Sure.
So, I really miss him a lot, And he was young as well. And it was only in a 3-week time period.
Wow.
So he went to the hospital, and 3 weeks later he was gone.
Oh, wow.
And he was only 67. So
that's my age.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, he was very, very important to me.
But it's good that you can carry on the ideas and the things that he taught you. You know, that's something that we all do with our parents. It's been almost 15 years since my dad has passed away, if not maybe a little bit longer. But you take on certain traits of your parents and try to carry those good things on. And that's important.
Yeah.
In your whole connection with your whole spiritual thing, is that your guideline basically for how you do your work as well? Because, of course, you're dealing every day with the possibility of somebody dying in your line of work.
Yeah.
Do you kind of pass those ideas among your patients?
Yeah.
The ones that are capable of understanding.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe, yeah, but I don't do it. How do you say it, on purpose? I have it in me,
subconsciously.
Because, and I always say, like, I take care about people the way I want it to be taken care of. They can feel my love for them as a caretaker,
right.
And you have to be respectful, loving to all those people, whether they're old or mental illness or I don't know what, but yeah. And they always say to me, like, especially the seniors, when I was still working with them, you're so sweet to me. You're so sweet. Yeah. It's like my old grandmother or my old grandfather and you have to give them your,
Sure, that's a very rewarding thing with the work that you get that.
Yeah. You can feel that as well, when you treat them in a good way, you can feel, I can't understand that there are people who treat them that bad, like you see on the news now. A few weeks ago, what some nursing people did to older people, and I can't imagine me doing that. So I try to be a good one.
And I'm sure you are. You, like I said, we've known each other via Facebook, but we've met each other for the first time, actually not too long ago. Yeah. And you come over as a very warm-hearted person that I'm sure people are always glad that when you're around when they need some help. So that's wonderful. I got just a couple of more questions before we close our conversation. In this day and time, of course, we have a lot with our cell phones, and our life is sort of taking its own way. And I notice it myself, especially when I'm taking public transportation, and it's like about 85% of the people you see have their cell phone in their hand, and they're busy texting or something like that. Looking at that and looking at how our society is going, of course, just about everything has to be done online nowadays. And how do you see that for yourself? Because having that personal contact is, I think, still one of the most important things among people.
Yeah, it's really sad. You see how everyone is living on their own, living their lives throughout social media. And I try to take a little, it's always there, I know. But for myself, I try to distance myself from using it all the time, because it's not a healthy way of living.
Absolutely not.
And then I prefer the good old days, when we were younger, and you didn't have a cell phone. You have to use the phone in the living room, and you couldn't send messages all the time. And I also last year I was in Austin for a few days, all by myself. And then I like to go out on a terrace, have a drink, and just chat with people, strangers. And I can be very social. I can be on my own as well, but I'm a social person. So I love to make contact with other people, strangers, and have a chat and have a drink together and talk about things.
That's actually a pretty good trait. Communication between people. I remember myself, I came to Europe when I was 19. And from off that moment, I basically have been on my own for a large part of my life. And so, traveling and performing and just going into a cafe and just talking with people, it's been very enrichment for me. I have picked up a lot of life's wisdom, as they say, over the years. And let me ask you this question: as a nurse now, what would you advise to, let's say, the younger generation that want to get involved in your field of work? What would you advise them as the first thing to do?
The first thing is, you have to love people in every kind of way, because when you work at health thing at hospitals or becoming a nurse, it's always, people are always in pain and misery, suffering. So, it's not always the nice things in life you see there, or you have to deal with. And the most important thing in doing that job is loving people, caring about people. That's the most important thing.
Okay. All right. As we've been speaking, we come out on the thing about caretaking. It's about making decisions in your life. And if you were to tell, let's say, someone in their life coming up to do their things, let's say your main vision about making decisions.
Oh, that's a difficult one. Main vision, I've always, of course, I had problems in my life as well, bad issues going on as well. But I've always tried to be open to everybody, respectful. And, not every person is the same. You can always give someone a chance, unless they prove otherwise, of course. But you have to be open to people, and you have to communicate. Very important. You have to communicate, and also about inner feelings and stuff like that. So I think that's and respectful to everybody. Yeah, that's a very important thing to me. I like to be respected, but you have to do it as well to other ones. No matter who they are, if they're rich, if they're poor, if they're famous, if they're not famous, just to everybody, in sickness and health and in every kind of way. I think that's the most important thing in life.
Yeah, respect is really the main thing when it comes to just in general with people, that you show them that you are there, that you care, and what you can.
Yeah,
that reflects how you are from yourself, from within. I think is if you can respect yourself, then you can respect others.
Yeah, and not only in joyful or good things, but also when it's not going good. A lot of people
absolutely
are afraid to ask when someone is in misery or in pain or in bad stuff or something. A lot of people are afraid to ask or to talk about it, but it shouldn't be. That's part of life. Life isn't only pleasure and fun and good things. No, life is a lot of things and a lot of feelings going on for everybody. So you have to be there in every way.
So if you were to sum up the word caring in, let's say, 5 sentences or less, what would you say?
Phew, you make it difficult. 5 sentences. Oh.
Yeah, you can go. I'll give you another 5 on top of that.
No, not 5. No, it's like what I said before. You have to be open-minded. You have to be respectful. You have to be caring. You have to be loving. You have to be there for people. That's and you have to be a good person without prejudice and and justice for all.
Without judgment.
Without judgment. Yes, that's important.
Already.
Yeah,
that's very important. So you're at the point where you've done everything basically you wanted to do, and you want to pass that on to, let's say, someone else. What would you say to them? Or what would you pass on to them from yourself, from your qualities?
From my qualities, I would say never give up. I've had hard times in my life as well, but it makes me even to do more effort when I the glass is half full, not half empty. You always have to keep moving on and believing that it's gonna at some point it's gonna be okay. even it takes a while, even if it's darker than dark, you always have to keep believing and always try to do your best to become wherever you want to be. Yeah, what I should say, or what worked for me or works for me still now. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, on those words, I want to thank you for coming on the show and sharing a bit about your life and your ideas, and continue. I wish you all the best with your work, of course, and that you continue doing those beautiful things you're doing, helping the people that really need it out there, and a lot of love and wisdom your way. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
I'm sure my listeners will also appreciate it as well.
Yeah, thank you.
This is MPP, and I'm Eddie C. Well, I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Dorine and how she talks about decision-making in her life. Now, let's just take the word decision. It's quite a powerful word if you think about it. It's something, like I said earlier in the podcast, we deal with that word every day. We have to make decisions and choices in our lives every single day, whether it's, like I said, what we're going to eat, what we're going to wear, what are we going to do, what time we're going to leave. Basically, with almost everything we do, it's based on decisions. Decisions of the moment. The decision that you might make that might have an influence over the rest of your life. Or the influence is that they will have on other people's lives. So when you make a decision, it's very important what decisions you make. And on those words, here's my quote. Decisions. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not. The approval we want to have or give to others. Afraid to fail or fall in the choices we make in life. Teaching ourselves through experience day by day. Looking ahead at what we want to achieve. Asking how and what we should do in situations. Learning from our mistakes to decide wisely the next time an opportunity comes our way. Well, that's about it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. But before I go, I'd like to thank my guest, Miss Dorine Hendrickx, for coming on and sharing a part of her life with us and telling us about how she sees decisions in her life. And remember, we all make decisions. Just make them wisely. Until next time. You can find me on all platforms like Spotify, Android, and Apple. On Facebook, look for My Positive Podcast. And my website is mypositivepodcast.com. You can also contact me via my website or Facebook. A very special thanks to my technical producer, Iswan. This show is a production by Antwerp Podcast Service. My name is Eddie C., and this was MPP, My Positive Podcast. Tune in next time and stay positive.